Stream more programs like this live and on demand with the PCN app in HD on your favorite device. Go to PCNTV.com to start streaming today.
The Giant Center here in Hershey, Pennsylvania, Chocolate Town, USA, where some state hardware on the line this afternoon. It's the PIAA 2A Boys State Championship. One school from one side of the state and the other from out west. Math, Civics, and Sciences, the Mighty Elephants, and Bishop Guilfoyle, the Marauders. They converge here in Hershey. And we welcome you courtside, everybody. Matt Martucci, Phil Shaner, who the last time this guy was at a track meet, what were you, 16, maybe 17? I think we have one on our hands, though, today.
Absolutely. Both these teams love to run and love to score. The example of that, how about the first round of the state tournament? Math, Civics, and Science scored 93. How about BG? They put 100 points on the board in the first round of the state playoffs. Both these teams will run, and they like to score. It will be a track meet.
Yeah, tempo this afternoon. A pair of schools that are separated by about 240 miles. Math, Civics, and Sciences out of Philadelphia, Bishop Guilfoyle in Altoona, a back-to-back district champion. Math, Civics, and Sciences ended up taking out the champion from a season ago in Constitution. And quite the year for the boys from Western PA in Altoona.
Absolutely, no question about it. You talk about this team, and they are a team that can score, and all 5 players can score different spots on the floor, and they've done it all season. They just walked through their District 6 playoffs, had no issues there, had some tough games the last 2 games to get here to today's game, but they're certainly battle-tested and ready.
7th year at the controls for the head coach of these Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders. That's Chris Drenning. Said it was kind of a long time coming. They won a district title their first year, but took a while to actually get themselves into this position. But happy to be here, and part of the reason that they are here, Phil, Luke Ruggery has been absolutely monumental.
All-time leading scorer in school history, arguably the best player maybe to ever play at BG. Full ride to St. Francis, Division I player. His life is all about basketball, just loves it. And when you have the best player, Matt, when he's your hardest worker, you got something. That's what they have in Luke. He's an outstanding player. Can't wait to see him play this afternoon.
The road to get here for the Marauders ended up being a tough one in the semis and the quarters as well. They're a team that likes to get up and down the floor, held to only 55 against Farrell, and then needed a last-second shot to fall short against Olsh, who we saw a year ago right in this very building.
That was an outstanding game against Olsh. They were fortunate enough to get here. Coach Rodriguez, of course, of Olsh says now, you know what? He is a Bishop Guilfoyle fan. A lot of respect after that game the other night.
And it's funny that you talk about respect for the Math, Civics, and Sciences Elephants in terms of their road here. They felt like they've been disrespected all year, and the fact that they ended up getting here obviously shows that they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder.
That's the right word, Matt. The chip is there because they felt they had a lot of players back from last year, and they just weren't getting talked about enough in 2A. They were mentioning all these other pub schools from Philadelphia, and they were leaving them out. Well, they're the last team standing here playing in the East for a state title.
And their coach is a first-year head coach in Lonnie Diggs. Played college basketball himself at Moravian, not too far down the road, couple hours away. But now gets a shot as the head man and bring in these Mighty Elephants into the state championship.
Yeah, he's ready to go. He's excited for this opportunity. Of course, they have a single-A title that they won, but they haven't been here in 2A, so they're playing up and they're glad and ready to go and trying to get another state championship because they said the old trophy has a little dust on it, and they want to knock that off and have a fresh trophy back in Philadelphia.
Mighty Elephant team that is quite deep. They can play as many as 11 guys. But the one that they're highest on, the ones who has already gotten Division I attention, Nicene Poplar.
Amazing that Poplar, 6'3" sophomore, leading scorer on the team. He didn't play last year, but then he grew a couple of inches and he dedicated himself to basketball in the summer. And this kid can shoot from the three-point range, very close to 50% in his shooting percentage outside the three-point arc. He's the most athletic player on the team. and he is going to have, if he has a big game today, they'll have a good shot at winning.
And the road to get here, again, drama for these folks as well. 73-65 overtime win against what was Constitution, who we're used to seeing here. A big win for them, but now trying to take home a state title as a member of 2A.
Yeah, it's amazing that Coach Rob Moore isn't here. Everyone thought we'd have the rematch from last year with Osh and Constitution, but it didn't happen. You got to give the respect to Mass Civics and Science. They're ready to play, and they're ready for this opportunity, and they feel that they have been disrespected, and they have that, as you mentioned, that chip on their shoulder. So they're going to come out. They're going to come out fast, and they do try to wear teams down. We're going to see a full court press all game. They're going to try to run it and run it a lot.
All set to get our afternoon started. Game number 2 of the day. Math Civics and Science is looking for a first title as a member of 2A. Bishop Guilfoyle, never been here, period. Some State Hardware coming up.
Take a nostalgic look back at some of the best games PCN has televised over the past 20 years with PCN Sports Classics. Watch the entire game without interruption and get updates on key players and coaches who made Pennsylvania sports history. Watch monthly on cable and on demand with the PCN app as we relive the biggest games of PCN sports. PCN, proud to bring Pennsylvania sports to you.
Did you know you can watch all of your favorite PCN originals and more at home or on the go? Download the PCN app on your favorite device and tune in to see what makes Pennsylvania's heart beat. Watch videos on demand, see multiple live streams, and check out the free selected programs and events. PCN, Pennsylvania politics and policy, history and culture, sports, and more.
The Giant Center where they're filing in. Bishop Guilfoyle, Math Civics and Sciences, District 12 and District 6, all set to converge today here in the middle of the state, and it's statewide on PCN. Matt Martucci, Phil Shaner, and we turn it over to our public address announcer, Ryan Hartman.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Giant Center, home to the 2019 PIAA Basketball Championships. In today's boys 2A final, they represent District 6, a record of 27 wins and 2 losses. Welcome the Marauders of Bishop Guilfoyle High School. Their opponent, representing District 12, a record of 22 and 9, the Mighty Elephants of Math, Civics, and Sciences. Your championship officials are Mark Syke, Gary Dixon, and Jim Reeder. And now here is the starting lineups for tonight's game. First off, for Bishop Guilfoyle, their head coach Chris Denning, assisted by John Craig, Tom Goss, and Mike Crownover. Here's the starting lineup for the Marauders. Starting at a guard, a 5'9" junior wearing number 1, Josiah Witherspoon. At guard, a 5'11" senior, number 3, Luke Ruggery. At forward, a junior standing 6'2", wearing number 12, Will Helton. Wearing number 24, a 5'10" junior at guard, Kyle Ruggery. And starting at guard, a junior standing 5'11", number 35, Michael Montecalvo. The Marauders of Bishop Guilfoyle High School. And now here is the starting lineup for Math, Civics, and Sciences. Their head coach, Lonnie Diggs, assisted by Feliciano Coggins, Rob Burton, Kurt Stevens, Jeremiah Wortham, and Dan Jackson. Here's the starting 5 for the Mighty Elephants. Starting at a guard, a 6'1" senior wearing number 1, Samaj Mills. At forward, wearing number 4, a 6'4" senior, Zaire Jackson. At guard, sophomore standing 6'3", number 5, Nassim Poplar. At guard, a 6'2" senior, number 20, Jahad Watson. And starting at forward, a 6'4" junior, number 23, Tavad Jones. The Mighty Elephants of Math, Civics, and Sciences. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats for the presentation of our country's colors. The colors are being presented this afternoon by the Marion Center High School Air Force Junior ROTC.
Color guard Paul. Present colors.
And now we ask that you please remain standing for the singing of the Star Spangled Banner, to be sung this afternoon by Northern High School senior Cassie Smith.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets reclaim, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Great day for basketball in Hershey. Bishop Guilfoyle, we talked about Luke Ruggery, his younger brother Kyle, also in the starting lineup, and Josiah Witherspoon already drawing Division I attention. Samaj Mills, one of the leaders of this Math, Civics, and Sciences team, and Jahad Watson, who's slippery. They call him the Squid.
We're going to see a lot of the Squid. He's the team leader. He's the guy who wants the basketball, puts him in the right spots, and Squid, as we'll call him all day long. That's how everyone knows him in the Philadelphia area. Squid Watson, another great senior for the two guards with Watson and Mills, two great senior leaders on this Math, Civics, and Science team.
A pair of coaches this afternoon who have a little something in common in that they're both here for the first time as head coaches.
Yes, 7th season. Bishop Guilfoyle's head coach, and you know he's Tussey Mountain High School grad. Played under Dave Bailey, 751 wins. He's a great story. And of course, on the other side, first year for Coach Diggs, who took over for Danny Jackson, who's now a full-time pastor, who was the head coach the last few years for Math, Civics, and Sciences.
Marauders, the purple and the gold. Math, Civics, and Sciences, the blue with the white. Mark Syke, Gary Dixon Jr., James Reeder, our officials this afternoon. And underway with the Mighty Elephants out of the city of brotherly love, controlling the basketball.
Going to see a lot of points here this afternoon. These two teams like to shoot it and like to run.
Plenty of motion early on. This is Poplar, who we featured, wasting no time and not bashful as the sophomore.
48% average from three-point range this season. That's mind-blowing.
Nice seeing Poplar, who's already getting local interest from the likes of Temple and LaSalle in Philadelphia, gets the scoring started. And quickly 3-0, Mighty Elephants rather, and the Marauders turn it over.
And there we see that pressure, the 2-2-1, full court pressure. You're going to see it all game. They'll mix it up. They'll do a little 2-2-1, full court pressure, also man-to-man full court. Math, Civics, and Sciences, they press the entire game. Bishop Guilfoyle knows it. They have to be ready for it.
Just getting underway here in Hershey. Matt Martucci, Phil Shaner. Poplar with the penetration. Offensive glass and a second chance for Tavon Jones. And this is Witherspoon, who we talked about, as only a junior. Ruggery trying to match Poplar. The big concern for Chris Drenning, wanted to eliminate an early run. Poplar, another look. And the Mighty Elephants, after that make, have missed their last three. Penetrating pitch. And Helton. And we're knotted up.
These teams can shoot three-pointers. All 5 starters on Bishop Guilfoyle have 30 or more three-pointers. All 5, Matt. Tremendous shooting from the outside by Bishop Guilfoyle.
It's the junior Will Helton. It looks like a foul on Witherspoon.
No question, the concern for Bishop Guilfoyle is how they were going to come out and to avoid those runs. One thing that Mass Civic Science does is they go on runs. We're talking about 12-2 runs, 10-0 runs, 14-2 runs, and they wanted to avoid that. And Coach was a little concerned about the opening minutes because in the Farrell game, his team was very tight in that first quarter.
Poplar making Watson actually this time with another look. And a pair of threes. And doubling up the Marauders, the early three-point lead for the Mighty Elephants. Witherspoon matched up with Samaj Mills. The kick out and left up on the rim. And the rebound for Jihad Watson. Nice bounce off the cut, and Jones, but there were steps first. And a turnover.
Was a good pass inside, but before he got that pass off Squid, Watson took too many steps to travel. Let's see how Bishop Guilfoyle handles the full court press here.
Able to break it, Ruggery getting in there with ease. Like 2.5 minutes, all the action from the perimeter thus far. Witherspoon gonna change that.
What a great athlete he is. His game getting to the rim, he was able to do that, but now he's worked on his jump shot all summer, and this season he has an excellent jump shot, maybe the best on-ball defender as well.
Up to the lane for Poplar. And we get a push in the over-the-back call. Looks like Zahir Jackson.
Take a look at the work here by Witherspoon, the ability to get to the basket. That little move, splitting the defenders, the crossover, and off the glass for 2. That was a big-time move. And you can see why the junior is getting some looks and some attention.
Naeem Edwards now on the floor. Jackson sits down after picking up the personal. Montecalvo. And the guy they call Mid-Range Mike does just that.
You gotta love the nickname. Coach said, you're gonna love this guy. He can hit that 14-footer, and we call him Mid-Range Mike. Well, there he demonstrated that with a little mid-range 14-foot jumper. Knocked it down. That's a shot that's kind of been forgotten in basketball anymore, those mid-range shots.
Nickname personified. Poplar couldn't get it to go, and offensive rebound. Jones got fouled.
One thing about Matt Civic Science is they play 11. That's been the story for the Mighty Elephants of Coach Diggs. He plays 11 players, and he feels that there's not much of a drop-off in those 11 players. He's really solid with the 10 or 11 guys that he gets in the basketball game.
Almost halfway gone here in our opening period. Marauders the early lead. Good ball movement. Poplar the recipient.
This sophomore, now you see why he's getting Division I looks from Temple, LaSalle, and even Texas Tech.
And they force the quick turnover. Watson slicing and scoring.
And that's what Bishop Guilfoyle cannot happen, those turnovers. That was one of the key factors in this game. They knew they cannot turn over the basketball. They talked about it yesterday in practice, and that's what happened.
5-0 run in the last 55 seconds. And Chris Drenning's guys down by 4 early here in Hershey.
You've heard the name. You've seen the face. Now he's part of the PCN family. Meet Bob McCool, Sports Director and Director of Sales. Spread your message through PCN with a sports sponsorship today. Your advertisement will be seen by millions during PIAA championship games. For information how, contact Bob at info@pcntv.com. PCN, proud to bring Pennsylvania sports to you.
Back in Hershey, 5-0 run and inside of a minute as the Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders down. But their crowd certainly fired up. Preparing for battle, Phil Shaner.
They knew they were going to be in a war with a team from Philadelphia, and they came from Altoona dressed in fatigues and ready to go. The student section in full force. Bishop Guilfoyle sold all their tickets that they had available to them. They're here in droves at the Giants Center trying to win their first ever state boys basketball title.
Yeah, we met with head coach Chris Drenning yesterday at their team hotel down the road from him. He said, wait till you see our crowd, the energy. And Ruggery helping to fuel it.
Now he's all-time leading scorer in school history. Got his tooth knocked out in the Osh game. Most times when that happens, you leave the game. No, not him. He played every single second, even though he got a tooth knocked out.
And quick response. Samaj Mills becomes the third Mighty Elephant to score. 4 different players for Bishop Guilfoyle finding the board. Witherspoon off the step back.
Whoa, what a move by Witherspoon. This is a kid that didn't play much last year and really worked on his game. That was big time. Step back to create this space and then nothing but the net. Oh my, the junior getting it done early.
It's a year of first for Bishop Guilfoyle. Poplar with the miss. It was the first trip to the state quarters for the first time since 1997. And there's Witherspoon with 4 straight.
They don't have an answer right now for Witherspoon's ability to get to the basket. He makes up his mind pretty early where he's going, and where he's going is to the glass.
Off the kick out, Edwards trying to find Watson, who couldn't convert. Back and forth we go. Ruggery with the hop, lost it out of bounds. And what's the 3rd turnover early on for the Marauders? Chris Drenning.
Take a look at Witherspoon going to work, the little stop and start. He made up his mind, the little crossover there, and then that fadeaway jumper. Wow, creating space. This time, the little pump fake to the rack and off the glass for 2. Witherspoon, the junior, impressive early.
6 early points, perfect from the field for Josiah Witherspoon. Bounce game for Slaughter, who's off the bench. We mentioned they play as many as 11. Samaj Mills hopping, just couldn't finish. The younger of the Ruggery brothers, this is Kyle. And Hilton telegraphed it, and end-to-end, just like that, Mills with the finish.
That's the run out that you can't have Bishop Guilfoyle stressed. They cannot turn over the basketball because turnovers turn into points the other end.
4 for the senior guard, Samaj Mills, tie up at this end. And possession arrow stays here with the Marauders.
35 to keep plugging into
Watching the Mighty Elephants in the first couple of minutes of this first quarter, I cannot believe they didn't get respect in the pub league down in Philadelphia, because they're an outstanding basketball team, and a win over Constitution to get them here was huge. The overtime win really gave them some confidence. They lost to Constitution twice and Emotep twice this year. 4 of their 9 losses on the season.
Beat that Constitution team led by Keyshawn Hammonds. Continues to get better. We've seen him for the last couple of years. Witherspoon with outside of a minute left here in our opening quarter gets fouled. Early on, Bishop Guilfoyle, 75% from the field. Mighty Elephants have started 40.
Checking the game for the Mighty Elephants, number 3, Marcus
Now
Belton.
a second team foul overall. And Civics and Sciences. Marcus Middleton in. Samaj Mills sits down. Middleton, a junior on what could be a 2-year team. Not a whole lot of seniors on this Math, Civics, and Sciences roster. Ruggery off the handoff. Naeem Edwards cross court. Middleton got the penetration. Poplar just avoided the travel. Contact and off the window for Naeem Edwards.
That was body control for Edwards, getting the ball around the basket. He's known more for his defense than his offense, but he was able to get some contact and still have enough body control to put it in the basket. One thing I think about this Mighty Elephants team is they are certainly team basketball. There you see the contact, all kinds of contact running into Kyle Ruggery, and was able to keep control of his body. Edward was to put it in. But definitely the Mighty Elephants do a great job of working the basketball around, good ball movement. Both of these teams are so unselfish. They have so many weapons, so many guys that can score at different spots on the floor.
Final 25 seconds here of our opening period. Off the curl, Ruggery! Ain't nothing rugged about that shot.
Yeah, you want to get Ruggery going. His work ethic is off the charts. He is really the guy that has turned this program to where it is today. His work ethic since his freshman year.
And they won't get that off. Knotted up at 17. Exactly what we expected. The intensity and the emotion of a state title game here on PCN.
These days, life is busy, but amazing. From the sci-fi brilliance of technology to the existence of toast, we move at a crazy pace until this happens. Time for MedExpress. Walk right in, get the care you need, and get right back at it. MedExpress, because life is urgent.
Discover how great Pennsylvania manufacturers are with PCN Tours. Each episode is led by an expert who knows the company to give you an in-person experience with no script. Watch the original How It's Made